Isaac Aney, 18, and 3 gangster disciple associates, street names T-Money,
live from
No Limit Jesse, and Tay Paid sat in Aney's black Acura, parked on a side street off the 1200 block of East Casino Road, along Kossuth Avenue. They'd found a good spot to sit, wait, and watch Mo Jaiteh's house for any sign of the lanky 6'5" basketball star making his way home. Well, to be fair, maybe the spot wasn't that great, because as the 4 documented gang members smoked, plotted revenge, and watched for Mo, a resident looked out her window and wondered why 4 dudes in a black car were parked on her driveway staring across the street. She took precise notes. Quote, at 12:25 p.m., I noticed an unfamiliar car parked in our driveway. When it pulled out later, I took a picture and got the license plate. End quote, she noted. Quote, that same car was involved in a shooting on Casino Road an hour after I saw it, the woman told police. Her report is included in a 305-page case file obtained and reviewed by J425. Had the day's events taken a different turn, her report would have been less than useless in identifying the 4 people in the car. Aney had swapped out the plates on his own Acura, so his vehicle wouldn't be linked to him should any witnesses jot his plate number down. Why were the 4 GDs camped out for an hour watching Mo's house? Why would they need to swap out the plates? Why are they treated as witnesses instead of criminals? Good questions. You certainly won't find these questions or the answers in the probable cause narrative that supports the murder charges against Mo, a probable cause narrative that's had to be altered twice to incorporate new facts that J425 has led the reporting on, including the fact that one of the occupants of the car was found with a ghost gun fully loaded with 10 9mm bullets and one in the up top. Meanwhile, Mo has been held on charges that have kept him shrouded in one of the country's most deadly jails for the last 132 days. An hour after the Acura was spotted lurking across from Mo's house, the man himself was walking east along Casino Road, headed home from school before an upcoming shift at Domino's Pizza. Mo, the son of an American mother and a Gambian father, is a talented basketball player featured on Seattle Rotary. As he walked home on October 13, Mo had no criminal record. He didn't even have a parking ticket. Mo did have ops, though. And Jaiteh, a GD affiliate himself, if you believe the EPD gang unit, which notes such in their report, had been into it with the 4 in the Acura for the better part of a year. An initial disagreement about money or something else, depending on who you ask, led to friendships dissolving and metastasized into social media shit-talking, and from there grew into parking lot fistfights, ratcheting up further into ominous threats across social media in the fall. Now vehicles were getting shot up, and online threats were becoming even more ominous and specific. In a sign of the times, this beef marinated on a public stage, with hundreds, if not thousands, of Everett School District high schoolers keeping tabs on the latest over IG. In addition, the word was getting passed directly. J425 has interviewed over 30 students who claim some level of awareness about the beef prior to the shooting. Some of the witnesses spoke to the people inside the car after the shooting and got details. We have this on the record. We published it in previous stories. Even Mo's mom knew the guys in the car were looking for Mo, and she knew that before they were named. She told an EPD officer who interviewed her on the day Mo was arrested. She named Jesse and Tay specifically in a conversation with an EPD Violent Crimes Unit officer. At 1:26 p.m., Mo continued walking east on the sidewalk, crossing under the Highway 528 overpass at the 600 block of East Casino Road. He's like 5-6 blocks from his house. He's rocking a hoodie and over-ear headphones, literally minding his own business. Meanwhile, Aney piloted the dark Acura out of its hiding spot across from Mo's house that we talked about earlier. He headed west on Casino, basically heading directly towards Mo. As the Acura reached the overpass, some of the occupants in the car spotted Mo, who they'd been looking for the better part of an hour. Aney supposedly asked if that was Mo. A disagreement broke out inside the car. The front passenger apparently did not want to engage. The 2 in the back, or at least one of them, did want to engage. Those who wanted to engage won. We know that for a fact because Isaac Aney flipped a bitch. He turned a U-turn back behind Mo and pulled up, then drove up behind Mo, pulled to the side, and as J425 reported before anybody else, the car doors opened and the guys inside who were armed began to emerge. When Mo was arrested, that was not in the probable cause. They told a story basically of guy shoots up car for no apparent reason. And again, I say guy because Mo hasn't spoken. Mo hasn't given a statement, and the police have not found a weapon that they can link to the shooting, and they haven't effectively identified Mo in court. So, we know that somebody matching a description similar to Mo's shot at the car at that point, but the police were not volunteering the fact that the four in the car were GDs who'd been looking for Mo, had been camped outside his house, who were found with guns, who the gang unit saw as viable people to charge and arrest with the crime. And this information has not been provided to the public, and we are not sure to what extent the prosecutor has effectively reviewed this. Because, and this is, I'm off script now from our article, the danger for the county, aside from the obvious of you don't want to put a guy in jail who didn't deal the play, right? You're allowed to walk home, even if you are a suspected gang member, which again, that's what they say in the report, but it's neither here nor there. The point that I'm getting at is that we know for sure that a young man is dead. We know for sure that a crime occurred because there was a shooting and the driver of the car is dead. The question that's out there is who is responsible for that? And if four gang members decide to go look for somebody and are armed and are searching for him and waiting outside of his house, and then when they see him, they don't keep driving, they turn around, pull up next to him, throw open the doors and jump out armed, the crime has been committed by the people in that car. And Isaac's death is then a homicide that those three are culpable for. The person who they jump out and are ready to attack he has not committed a crime. Washington, among other things, is a stand your ground state. And again, we're not saying that was Mo because they haven't proved that. But if hypothetically it was Mo and he was armed and a car filled with enemies who had been saying on social media that they were going to kill him, pulled up behind him, jumped out armed and masked, well, that's self-defense, cut and dry. And you don't need to take my word for it because, as we'll show in our report, the Everett Police Department gang unit said as much. They said that they looked at these people in the car and they believed that they were armed and looking for Mo. And that's why they ended up searching the guys, and that's why they found a gun on the 16-year-old in the car. They also said that they immediately knew who these guys were because the 16-year-old had been involved in the month previous to this, the 16-year-old had been involved in a robbery, a gun possession, a drive-by shooting. The two other people in the car had been involved in gang-related violence. So, Gang Task Force knew who these guys were. So, the idea that Mo is the one who committed a crime out of all these things is just, it's off. And Washington state law says that if you defend yourself, and self-defense is you are allowed to use force or deadly force if a reasonable person basically would think that their life or health was in danger. And so the police thought that this was a serious thing. They thought they were trying to commit that crime. And I'm sure that if you turned around and saw people jumping out of a car that were sworn enemies and they were armed, you have a second to do something. So that if that is the case, is cut and dry self-defense. It'd be crazy to take it to trial because if you lose on a case where self-defense is claimed effectively, then the state has to pay for all the time that they've kept Mo locked up. They have to pay for his legal fees. Now he's a public defender. That won't come into play, but they owe him restitution for the arrest. And it's an embarrassing black eye for the prosecutor because obviously there's a whole nother narrative that hasn't even been discussed yet. And so at the very least that needs to be aired out. And honestly, and I'm just going to go into my own opinion here. Prosecutors don't ever take these sort of things to trial. you know what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to get Mo to plead to something, and they're going to put all sorts of pressure on him and say, you know, we're going to let you off easy, and they're going to try and give him a felony, and they're going to try and get a win, and they're going to try and lean on the fact that he doesn't have an expensive paid lawyer and all those resources, and they're going to hope that they can just get a charge and get it out of here. But you know, this may be the rare case where an innocent man is wrongly charged and is rotting in one of the deadliest county jails in the country. And, you know, this will be our fourth or fifth story on it. And we're on this, and we need to get this out to a wider audience, because until these questions are answered, it's far more likely that there's an innocent man in jail facing a capital crime, and the three guys who dealt the violence are walking around free. So now I know that really ratchets up the pressure because, like I said, somebody's getting charged with murder here. It's either Mo or it's the three in the car. And we're at that point now. So J425 is going to publish a story. I got to run. My dogs need out. So, yeah. One sec.